Back with another one, y'all. So it looked like Hulk Hogan kicked the bucket. Now, if you don't know who Hulk Hogan was, you're definitely not from American. Not American. Hulk Hogan is American as Snicker bar or Pepsi. Hulk Hogan was, for the longest, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation champion, WWF. He's a part of a lot of people's childhood. Whether you watch wrestling or not, you know who Hulk Hogan was. And he just recently passed. And I mean, really, life goes on. People die every day, unfortunately. And when it comes to these celebrities, we see it's been a changing of the guard, whether on purpose or just the duration of life. People die. And it seems like a lot of famous people who we grew up knowing, and some of them loving, they're now passing now. So, we definitely gonna feel some type of way about people. Part of our history is moving on. Like I said, a changing of the guard. The world is changing right before your eyes. Most of the companies that was around when I grew up is not around. From Radio Shack, Blockbuster, Winchell's Donuts, Sears, I can go on and on, Circuit City, and a lot more others. So it's an official changing of the guard in one respect, and in another respect because these are human beings. They got loved ones and family and friends and all that. So them people will forever live in a memory, in our memory as well. So to that extent, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Now there's also, especially amongst us, regarding how we should feel about Hulk Hogan in particular, and other famous people who we grew up knowing and loving, and then you come to find out who they really are or was as a person. So you get mixed feelings. So this is how I think you should look at things like that. Because in the case of Hulk Hogan, a little while ago, I think far back as 2009, he got put on blast saying some racist comments. Well, he showed his disapproval of his daughter, Brooke Hogan. I guess she was dating a black dude at the time. And he was on the phone giving her a piece of his mind. And I forget exactly how the phone conversation went, but he basically was saying like, hey, you dating a black dude, that ain't cool. So he exposed his racial undertones, as I'll put it. Now, how should we look at that? Because I hear people, I see people, they putting posts, and it's really mixed feelings. And some are saying like, well, how could you RIP Hulk Hogan knowing that he was a racist, a closet racist? This is how I look at it, y'all. Well, for one, that shouldn't surprise you. It shouldn't surprise you at all that Hulk Hogan was a closet or casual racist. You should be under the premonition that all white people are racist, and the burden of proof is on them. Now, do I mean your everyday white person? Are they all racist? Probably not, but I'm going to move with that assumption. Again, and the burden of proof is on them. It's safe to assume they're racist, and then to come to find out they're not, or not showing that they're not, then okay, that's cool. Now, this is not to say every white person I encounter, I'm coming with the premonition that, I'm talking to a racist, so I'm going to posture the conversation a certain way. Nah, I'm going to judge you by who you are as a person. But if you white, it's definitely not going to surprise me that you racist. And to that extent, I'm not going to be mad because I expect you to be racist. What surprised me or what pissed me off when somebody that looked like me do something that's counter to their own people, because they're going against the grain. A white person, and this is not to say that everybody white is down with racism, because they not. You may not think that, but they ain't. You know, a lot of them ain't willing to roll with it. Then you got some that's casual about it, or they may not be willing to roll with it, but they not about to trade spaces with you. You understand? They not going to turn down their shares of the spoil. So I don't get the surprise from people that look like me. It's my bad, y'all. I'm out here in the car, so you might hear a lot of music. Now, how you gonna get mad? Like, no. Do I mean you need to cry and give flowers and make a million posts on what Hulk Hogan mean to you and all that? Nah, I ain't saying that at all. I ain't even saying post a RIP. Because if you wasn't into wrestling, you wasn't into wrestling, but you know who Hulk Hogan is. But for you to be surprised that he was a closet racist, that shouldn't surprise you at all. He's white. And again, everybody white ain't racist, but every racist is white. So I kind of, when it comes to that, I take that as a grain of salt. You know, like if it's a white person I see every day, it could be my neighbor, somebody I work with. Yeah, we may be cool on a business, you understand, perspective, but he may go home and say the N-word all night. Now, do I care? No, not to that extent, because you ain't got the balls to say it to me or express how you really feel. But, of course, I would never trust you. I wouldn't trust you anyway. Just on that fact. But I wouldn't trust anybody, regardless of where you from. But point is, y'all, how you gonna get mad at, and this is what, you know, but how you gonna get mad on something that shouldn't surprise you? Yeah, he racist. So what, to that extent? I ain't saying so what that he's racist, but I'm saying so what, because you can't control how nobody feel. Now, acting on it and all that is a different thing altogether. Then, yeah, you get neutralized. But keep that shit in your head. You can say N-word in your head all you want. He expressed it to his daughter, and she put him on blast. For whatever reason. But the point is, Hulk Hogan dead. Hulk Hogan is a part of American culture. Whether you liked him or not, you knew who Hulk Hogan was. And by him dying, you is going to feel some type of way. And I'm not saying grief or anything, but just to the fact like, damn, time is moving along. People are dying. People that you know of are dying. Famous people, people you know, time is changing. It's being a change of the guard. That's how I take it. So it's like, damn, Hulk Hogan died, Malcolm Jamal Warner just passed, a lot of other people just passed. So you just never know. That's pretty much how I take it. Yeah, it's a surprise, it's a shock. I know he was a little older, but you never know. And as far as wrestling, with that being said, Hulk Hogan, he thugged it out pretty long, because a lot of wrestlers from my era is not around. Some people say steroid use for whatever, but a lot of them is not around, because I'm from that era, the WWF era. See, I out here in Cali, where my section, it was WWF. That WCW and all that didn't come later. Like, we seen it, but that was usually on TNT, Ted Turner channel. That was like down south. They used to push that a lot. We was WWF out this way. You know, from the Hawk, Bad News Brown, you know, Mr. Perfect, the Macho Man, you know what I'm saying, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase, Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, you know, all that. Even Mr. T, old school WrestleMania 3, they had it at the Coliseum. I was there. So that was my era of wrestling. And a lot of those wrestlers died a while ago. maybe from the wear and tear of the sport. Again, it was steroid use. There was a lot of talk about that. So Hulk Hogan did make it through that era. I will say that. He definitely was one of the more famous of those wrestlers. You know, Iron Sheik. Y'all need to check Iron Sheik out here on YouTube. A lot of his talks, and when he talking about the behind the scenes, the wrestling and the thugging and the stuff they used to do. Iron Sheik, Sheiky baby, talk a lot of shit. Check Sheik out, man. He gonna tell you some truths that I bet you didn't know about. But point is, as far as Hulk Hogan passing, then you need to cry a river or make a post. But don't be mad at other people for making posts from Hulk Hogan. Yeah, a lot of us is ignorant to a severe fault on a lot of things. It's a lot of things we shouldn't be big upping or pushing that's detrimental to us, that we ourselves create. So you should expect Hulk Hogan or any white person for that matter to be racist, whether if they truly feel that way or they just on some casual racism or on some go along to get along. So, and just because you got white friends, and that's a good detector right there. Hey man, I don't hate black people. Would you let your daughter date one? And see how they answer. That may let you know right then. And just because somebody want to stick within their own group, and this is a side note, don't make them racist. Although a lot of racists, especially when it comes to whites, do push that, but that's not a racist practice just because you like your own. It's not. You know, so I don't look at it that way. But point is, man, people gon' RIP who they want to. A lot of people liked Hulk Hogan, racist or not, because a lot of black people feel like I do. Yeah, I know he's racist, but acting on it, even being racist mentally ain't cool. But keep it in house. Is when you start bringing those biases and prejudices into the world at your workplace or walking down the street. That's when it becomes a problem. When y'all making them laws, or when you pull somebody over and you can choose whether to shoot to subdue them, to bring them down, or shoot to unalive. All that's discretionary. And this is where your racist and biased practices come to light. So keep that in-house. That's how I look at that when it come to that. You don't like me, I don't like your ass either. So we even. But as far as cats getting mad, or hey, if you don't like Hulk Hogan and you acknowledge his casual racism and he died and you like, but if somebody else say it, I mean, it is good that they should know that. You definitely need to know that. But people gone because Hulk Hogan is so entrenched or deeply entrenched in American history and culture. You can't, when it comes to entertainment within American history and culture, you can't not mention him, for better or for worse. Like I said, it's no different than McDonald's, Pepsi, or Snicker. Whether you eat McDonald's or not, I bet you tasted McDonald's before in your life. You can be a vegetarian, but I bet you had a hamburger, a McDonald's burger. I bet you had a Pepsi before. I bet you tried a Snicker bar too. So, and I bet you know who Hulk Hogan is or was, whether you like him or not. You know? A lot of people don't like Tupac. But it is American, so they know who Tupac is. You understand? Propaganda or whatever. He's entrenched in American culture, the American fabric. You know? Just like James Brown, Muhammad Ali. You can't mention without them. whether you like him or not, whether you racist or not. So, same applies to Hulk Hogan ass, y'all. You know? Now, it definitely would have been good and better if he wasn't no casual racist. I think a lot more people in my community probably would up Hulk Hogan just because we know the name. Everybody grew up off Hulk Hogan. You understand? So that's how I look at it, man. You know, him being a casual racist shouldn't surprise you at all. Rather if he said, I'm not racist, well, okay, that's cool. You know, it ain't what you say is what you do, it's your actions. Now again, I'm not, and even though this is for another video, but if you're a non-African American and you're not racist, that don't mean you gotta go and kiss ass. But if you racist, let us know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I make of that, y'all. Hulk Hogan dying, man. That just shows to me that, man, life is moving along, man, and people die. And it's a shock to us because these is famous people. These is people we been growing up knowing. So when we see them pass on, it's like, damn, you know, life is changing. Like, damn, yeah. So that's, for the most part, how I look at it when Hulk Hogan and other famous people pass. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Take that how y'all want it, man. Nah, am I caping for Hulk Hogan? Nah, hell nah. I'm just keeping it 100 when it comes to this whole racism thing.